It's time. Time to get inspired and empowered. To realize it's never too late to create your next amazing story. Get ready to break through, transform, and start living the life of your dreams. So, are you ready? Truly ready to begin your journey to create your next amazing story in life and love? Great. Let's jump in with your host, Life and Love Transformational Coach, Suzanne Oshima.
Hi there. Welcome to the It's Never Too Late show. I'm Marjorie Fiore, and I'll be your guest host for today's show. We're turning the tables today, and I'll be interviewing Suzanne Oshima. Suzanne's the Life and Love Transformational Coach at Your Next Amazing Story. And today we're going to be talking about how to make online dating work for you. And it can work for you. Suzanne, before we jump in though, I'd love for you to share with the audience who you serve and why.
Sure. So I help single women in midlife transform midlife into their best life and find love again in their next chapter. And it's something that I'm so passionate about because it always makes me so upset when people think it's too late for me to find love again. And when I know it's never too late to find love again in your next chapter. I mean, my proudest success story is when I helped a woman who was 74 find love again in her next chapter. I know. And she met him online. So it does work.
Yeah, I love that you focus on a specific demographic because we're not done. We're just getting ready to get started with our second chapter, and we deserve to have love throughout our whole life. And it just can be, we're facing different challenges, and it can be scary and it can be hard, but we shouldn't have to give up. And a lot of single women in midlife who have even been doing online dating for a while, they kind of have a love-hate relationship with it, mostly hate. I mean, why is that?
Well, that's a great question. And I know I could see so many women out there going, yep, Marjorie, I hate it. I hate it. And, the biggest reason I find if a woman really has a disdain for online dating, it's because it hasn't been working for her. Yeah. Right. And so, of course, if it's not working and you've been doing it for years or off and on, of course, you're going to hate going online. And so I would say, the first thing is you want to figure out why it's not working, because that's the biggest reason why someone would hate what they're doing. Right. But I find the second reason why people hate online dating is because it makes them feel super vulnerable to put themselves out there. Like, here I am, here's my photos, here's everything about me. And it can be scary. And so I get it. And especially if you're not used to doing online dating, a lot of people get afraid of, all this information is out there. So, it can be, like I said, scary.
Yeah. I mean, I know what you're saying, especially once you decide you're going to do it and you're excited, maybe nothing happens. Like you get no activity, no interest. It's like, is it all going to connect? Did I hit submit? But is there a process that you can, or approach you can take to make it kind of work for you better so it's not so painful?
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like, I love how you said that. Like, when you put it all up there and you press submit, then you're all excited, but then you hear crickets, right? Nothing. Or worse is that all the wrong men are contacting you, right? Or let's face it, you get scammers contacting you, and that can be really discouraging. Now, here's the thing. First of all, can we stop the wrong men from contacting you? No, because everybody's looking for love and they don't know they're the wrong man. They're hoping they're the right man. And online dating, there are some scammers, but let's try not to focus on them. But like I said, if it hasn't been working and you're hearing crickets or all the wrong men are contacting you, as in they're not of quality and you wouldn't even think about having coffee with them or even having a phone conversation, is you want to figure out, number one is what is going on with my profile that it isn't working for me. right? Because that's out there. A lot of people don't like to look at it this way, but I used to work in advertising. That is your advertisement for you. And so if it's not the best photos and the essay, then something's off if you're not attracting quality men or you're hearing crickets. So it's important to not just go, oh, online dating doesn't work, I'm pulling it off, or whatever it is. Figure it out what's off, and so that you can change it so that it does start working for you.
Yeah, I mean, you need to approach it. It's easy for me to say this, but kind of like set it up have your goals, your intention, and then approach it like you would anything else that's important in your life. Look at it, analyze it. It's not just your picture. It's not that you think you're 15 pounds overweight and I should wait till I lose the weight. It's not that. Like you said, there's other points to that. But I think if you really kind of approach it like this is something I want to do, and then have more of a realistic expectation, and the way you're going to manage it would help me make it less painful for me. If I had like a checklist, like here's what I need to make sure I have covered and then I'm doing, and it's kind of like making sure you're doing the right things and not just saying, well, I'm just a great person. I don't know how to convey that.
Yeah. And you bring up a really great point. It's all about mindset, right? You want to go into this with a positive mindset, not, oh God, I can't believe I have to do online dating and no one ever meets someone online. Well, if you go in with that mindset, this is going to be a painful 6 months, a year, or whatever it is to meet the right man. And so it's important to really do a mindset check with yourself and ask yourself, am I going into this with a positive attitude? Am I going into it thinking that I can meet a quality man online? Because if you're not, then we need to do some adjusting.
And I wanted to say two things that you said. The wrong men, some reasons why people don't like it is because the wrong men's you're attracting the wrong guys or scammers. But let's face it, you could do that organically too. That happens in real life too.
Well, that is true.
You're not immune from that. That's just called life. So that's why you have instincts. But I also I just wanted to say that when you were talking about, I forgot what you said, but I remember asking somebody how they met. And she goes, oh, we met online. And no part of me thought, oh, that's weird. Oh my God, I was like happy for them. So I think that there's also a stigma that if you're doing it, a lot of people are embarrassed, like I'm on online dating. And it's like, you shouldn't be. It's like, no, I'm taking an adult approach to this goal that I have in my life to meet another quality person. I think it's pretty cool. And we're lucky that we have these advances where we can go ahead and see if they kind of meet most of our criteria. And if we feel like we want to have a conversation and see how that initial vibe is. And I mean, I think there's way more pros than cons, but if you approach it saying, oh, I've done this for 6 months, it doesn't work for me, then you probably are going to hate the whole process and it is going to be more painful. But what else can they do to kind of keep it more of a, just to kind of, it's hard to say keep the emotion out of it, but because your emotions are in it, but you know what I mean when you approach it more of like a method way to do it.
Yeah, well, you bring up a great point. Is of course our emotions are involved because this is our love life, right? We want to find love again, but what I love that you said about that is I think some people can sometimes become so emotionally invested in someone that they don't know yet, that they already have given this person their heart, but they still don't know them. And so then when he disappears off the site, or after date 1 or date 2 or 3, he just disappears without a trace. Let him earn your heart. Don't give away your heart so soon, because to me, when a man disappears after the first, second, or third date, or after a few email exchanges, I look at that not as a glass half empty, but half full of ingratitude. Thank you for showing me who you truly are, because obviously you are the wrong man for me. Like,
I think there's a song that's called Thank You Next. Isn't that a song? Thank You Next.
Yes.
That's what she means. That's what she's talking about.
Yeah. And it's true. It's true. Right? It's don't go into something's wrong with me, something I said, something I did, I'm not skinny enough, whatever it is, I'm not pretty enough. No. Thank you for showing me who you are. Next.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it goes both ways. Like you don't want to, I know I've dated somebody before where it was really quick and they started saying that they loved you and it was like they were already invested and it's kind of a burden. It's like, I don't really think I even know you that well yet, you know? So it's kind of like you don't want to be the reverse of that either way because, you know, life's too short. We don't have any more time, but we don't need to rush into anything. And that's why, again, as much as people are kind of like, oh, I would never do online dating. It's like, how's that working out for you being single? You know, it's like...
Well, yeah. And you brought up a really great point earlier is, for women in midlife, we didn't grow up with online dating, right? So to us, it's a new thing, especially if we haven't done it in 20, 30 years, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why it can be harder for us to accept it in our mind and think that this is totally normal. But it is normal because as you were saying that, I was thinking about millennials, right? This is all they know. They think this is completely normal. Right. And they don't look at it as, oh God, I don't want to put myself out there. They're like, great, this gets me to meeting someone so much faster.
Right.
So right. It's all in how you look at it.
Yeah. And it's not feeling like we're left behind because we weren't raised in the age of technology, really. Like, I know I have my nieces, they all shop online and they all get their groceries delivered. I'm like, I go to the grocery store, I park, I like to get a cart, It's like, but that's just what they do now because they're busy. They're working, they have little kids, but it's like, I wasn't raised on that. But if that's what they know, then that is the norm. I mean, we just gotta, and that's why this is a great advancement. It doesn't remove the emotional connection. It kind of speeds it up. It doesn't let you waste time because you were saying previously about, sometimes the things about other people don't come out for, 5, 6, I thought you were going to say years, which is what I was thinking, which you meant, so many dates into it. And if you promise yourself that you'll be authentic and not try to be somebody you're not and try to act like you like things that you don't, this is your time to be like, this is who I am. You want somebody that's going to want to be invested with the real you, not the you that's on the front. So I think there's way more pros than cons, and you just got to flip your thinking. And, if you have a love-hate relationship, it's because maybe you don't really understand or you're not approaching it, like you said, with the right mindset.
Yeah. And that would be my last point is to don't try to think that, I should meet someone in 3 months and, right. Just go in with an open mind. Just go in with a positive mindset. Just go along and see what the journey, what it brings you along the journey, and just look at it as a step in the process. Because I think all too often we can sometimes get caught up in, well, it should have happened by now. Mm-hmm. No, it doesn't always happen that way. And so just enjoy the process and look at each person that you talk to or get to know of. If this doesn't work, that's okay. Right. He could be a friend. Maybe I have a girlfriend that I can introduce him to or whatever it is.
Right. Yeah. I mean, this was an amazing discussion. And I know that you could probably talk for hours about the love-hate relationship and the pros and cons, mostly pros. But I also know that you have a free online masterclass where you do go deeper into the whole online dating approach and pros and cons and ways to, I think you have a good tip you tell people, but you tell us more about it and how the listeners can get registered for it.
Sure. So in this masterclass, I share with you the number one way to meet a quality man. And I will also share with you the real reason why you're not meeting quality men online. So ladies, if you're in that frustrated hate state, this is for you because I'm going to tell you why it may not be working for you. And I'm also going to tell you the secret formula on how to turn it around to make online dating work for you so that you can start meeting quality men online. Because it does work. And if you're watching the video, you can click right here on the video. If you're listening to the podcast show, just go to yournextamazingstory.com and click at the top of the website.
Great. Thanks everyone for joining us today and listening to the It's Never Too Late show. The show is available in both video and podcast format and can be found at yournextamazingstory.com, which is the same place you can sign up for the free online masterclass called The Secrets to Meet a Quality Man. Okay, go get signed up. Take care.
Love today's episode of the It's Never Too Late show? Then head on over to yournextamazingstory.com to continue the conversation, get access to show notes, and get more amazing content.